Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. This is the Tarot portion and the second half of my daily astrology vlog, which you can check out on my other channel, Astrology Today with Mel Rose. Here, I will discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page. Then I'll do a quick review of the day's aspects before I play another card that may give us something more to think about. So let's get into it. The card that currently sits on this side of the page is the Nine of Pentacles, and it is there because astrologically it belongs in the second 10 days or the second decan of the sun's transit in the land of Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign, and Pentacles in Tarot are earth element symbolism as well. And earth element symbolism is about the physical resources we have and what we are willing to do with them to create more stability and security in our life. And, you know, that's a long way of saying sort of like how we're managing our health, wealth, and finances, your physical resources, your body, the nice things that you have that you like to keep nice, and also the regular resources that you use, the supplies you use, but most of all, the money that you need to spend on them, right? So here we have with the Nine of Pentacles, a person who's sort of embodies, let's say, the opulence or the luxury or the, you know, the feeling of being at ease that we get when we have worked hard for something and now we can enjoy the fruits of our labor, right? We put in the effort. Eight of Pentacles was just like, you know, do it again and again until it's something that has value for you. And then in this situation, we see this person sort of standing in a garden. There are ripe fruits all around them. And also those pentacles sort of represent ripe fruits as well. This person it seems to be in sort of communion or conversation with the bird that they keep. And that can represent sort of just being... It's almost like a strength card vibe of like having some sort of patience and therefore control of our animal wisdom, right? Our simple, intuitive, instinctive wisdom, which has helped us grow this resource for ourselves in such a way that we have this abundance and we can really just sort of luxuriate and enjoy in it, take joy in it. With all of that said, I'm going to grab some cards here and shuffle them while I remind myself and the cards that the sun is in Virgo. And, you know, Venus moved into Virgo yesterday too. So sun in Virgo, Venus in Virgo. This is our outer lives, our cultural selves, the people that we are out in our work, social, and civic spheres. But also this is our receptive heart, the part of us that seeks to attract those people and things that we like, love, and can't get enough of. We're all in this sort of practical Virgo vibe right now. It's mutable earth, so it's very much moving around resources, paying attention to what is practical, working with that to create solutions for ourselves, okay? Everything needs to make sense and have a purpose, you know, under the auspices of Virgo. So, you know, Venus in Virgo, you know, really wants even our love affairs to make sense and have a purpose in our life, not just to be, you know, beautiful things that distract us from the rest of our lives, but, you know, something that actually adds value and stability. And on the moon side of the page, we have this waxing gibbous moon in Capricorn, more earth, cardinal earth there. Capricorn really believes, and when the moon is in Capricorn, we believe from our heart that if we really just put in the diligent effort, if we put in the work, then we will have the good outcome. We will achieve the things we're trying to achieve. And that's great because we're in the waxing gibbous phase right now, which is a time when we are literally taking action, working to achieve the goals that we have set in place. Hopefully some of them can be completed in time for the full moon coming up this week. When is the full moon? It's on Saturday. So, you know, stay at work. It's a very worker mode vibe. So stay at work and, you know, and those achievements that will come. And when the moon is in Capricorn, you know, like we show our dedication and we know because we feel it that when we show our dedication, the rewards are already rolling in. on the moon side of the page today, this morning around 7:44, moon goes square to Jupiter. And, you know, moon and Jupiter are good buddies. We usually have fun. We usually enjoy good company. We can be good friends to one another. We feel our own sense of personal expansion and growth, and we want to share with others. But the square there is saying, you know, don't overdo it. Try not to give too much. Try not to be overbearing in the gifts or in the sharing that you're trying to do. And then moon also goes square to Mercury today. Here's moon's square to Jupiter. Here's moon's square to Mercury. And you see that those two are in opposition here. We're going to talk about that. Moon's square to Mercury says, you know, like our hearts and minds are in this really challenging position with one another. Our feelings can cloud our judgment. So, you know, before we sign any contracts or make any commitments, it might be a good idea to talk it over with somebody that we trust. Oh, excuse me. And then this evening, sometime today, the sun goes trine to moon. And, you know, that indicates this 3/4 lit image of the moon that we see in the sky right now. And it also indicates this personal sort of ideal functioning between our inner life and our outer life, our personal self and our cultural self, our ability to work together with ourselves and also to collaborate with other people is really blessed at this time. And that's good because it's ideal, again, for meeting those goals in time for the full moon in Pisces this Saturday. In the ongoing column, you know, Jupiter is in opposition to, or Mercury is in opposition to Jupiter. And, you know, this is a vibe like Jupiter is over here saying, hey, listen, we've got work to do. We want to expand, you know, the space that you have on the inside so that you can hold the bigger, better things that you imagine for yourself, that you imagine you might be, do, or have. And, you know, so we've got to clear out some, like, maybe some old thoughts, attitudes, and dispositions that might be getting in the way, might be taking up room and not allowing you to take on the new things that you'd like to be, do, and have. And then Mercury is over here in opposition, though, saying, I am in Libra. I am feeling pretty playful and lazy. I'm looking for some pretty distractions. In fact, I'm really looking to not think at all about the personal growth right now, which is too bad because there's a lot of personal growth right now. So, of course, we're a little bit resistant to it, especially as Mercury is basically stalling out and stationing to go retrograde. And then, you know, the moon is in opposition to both of these points, making this sort of T-square shape between them. And this can bring about some excitement, some tension, some, you know, squares bring about an urge to act, right? They remind us of our dedication to certain principles. So then we have to go ahead and make an action. So the moon is really our feeling life, our personal life, how it feels to be us on the inside, in our bodies and our hearts and our minds. And, you know, the moon is really talking to Mercury here saying, yeah, but you've got to do something. And really talking to Jupiter saying, yes, I feel it. I know we have to do something here. And in the meantime, Mars is sextile to Jupiter here saying, you know, yes, I want to take initiative toward those bigger, better things I imagine myself being, doing, and having. Mercury is trine to Mars here saying, yes, I do feel like taking actions, right? I do feel like having some initiative, although Mercury's initiative is more toward what feels beautiful and balanced and pretty and distracting right now. But also notice that Venus and Sun are over here square to Mars. And again, squares spur us into action, right? So we're spurring initiative into action. And the initiative is in this really cooperative vibe with this personal growth that we're undergoing. So I think that Mercury's desire to sit this one out is sort of stalling on us, and it might cause us some more sort of ripples in the flow because it is sort of slowing down our rational mind. Our day-to-day ability to take care of everyday things very quickly is about to go retrograde, and so, you know, we're going to be invited to slow down and follow through anyway. So take this initiative while you have it. Because, you know, things are really getting kind of ripply for us here. We've got 6 going on 7 planets currently retrograde, right? So, you know, the regular trajectory, the regular flow of planetary movement is in this clockwise motion, counterclockwise motion around this wheel. And then when the planets appear to go retrograde, because it is a trick, it's not real, when they appear to go retrograde, it's almost, you can almost see like the ripples and the upset that they would cause, sort of the surprises that come up, and the you know, inconveniences, and the you know, just the challenges that may arise as we try to navigate our daily lives. Well, you know, with these bigger planets, you know, those challenges are more outer life challenges, which we're all dealing with. But with Mercury about to go retrograde, that's our personal life. That is our day-to-day functioning, our ability to think, plan, and communicate, you know, with speed and act on things. So be aware that those ripples are there, that we are navigating troubled waters at this time. Those waters are going to become more troubled and turbulent before they calm down again. So, you know, you have to have your wits about you, and you have to really be clear on what it is you're trying to achieve. And that is going to be the way to navigate the troubled flow. Okay, and with all of that said, well, we got the Wheel of Fortune. So sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down. But when the Wheel of Fortune gets played in a reading, it usually says that, you know, fortune is spinning in our favor. Like things are bound to go well for us today. So I like that message, right? But you know, there are a couple of lessons that do come with the Wheel of Fortune. You know, that we're all on this wheel. So sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down. When you're up, you realize that eventually you're going to be back down. And when you're down, you realize that eventually you will come back up, okay? I love the wheel within the wheel within the wheel within the wheel here and the wheel, right? So, you know, regular trajectory of the flow of planets, and then then we've got this retrograde flow that tells me that wheel is just maybe having to work a little harder, right? Or we're having to work a little bit harder for our good fortune to meet us, because, you know, good fortune doesn't just happen for people who do nothing, right? Jupiter is our friend and wants to give and give, and wants us to expand. It wants to educate us. It wants us to travel, learn, and see and do new things. And it wants us to, you know, be able to be engaged in bigger business opportunities, or just bigger opportunities in general. It wants to broaden our sense of what we can be, do, and have. And, you know, it is willing to give us all those things, but we have to be working toward them, right? You know, you can't say, oh, Jupiter is giving me an education. No, you have to determine where the education is going to happen. You have to enroll in the school and show up for the classes. And then you can receive that good fortune that Jupiter brings in terms of expanded mind and expanded education. And taken together with well, if I'm looking at it out here, then I see Jupiter. I also see the 4 fixed signs on this card, okay? Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Leo are fixed signs. So understand that, you know, while the wheel is always spinning in motion, it's not like wobbling and rolling around all over the place. It's in one place, right? It's fixed from the center. And that's another one of the lessons that comes from the Wheel of Fortune, is that, you know, it can be a pretty wild ride to be out here on the edge of this wheel as it turns. So we want to try to bring ourselves, as we can, a little more toward the center, because being in the center, we can observe the highs and the lows without really sort of being whipped about or overly affected by them. And taken together with the 9 of Pentacles, you know, 9 of Pentacles is a high. It's a high point, right? So the Wheel of Fortune has been spinning in our favor. We have come to a point where we can enjoy the fruits of some of our labor. There has been a harvest recently. With the midsummer, there was a harvest. We have another harvest coming up. So this is definitely in part about the diligent effort that a lot of people go to get the food in at the right time out of the fields and you know, sort of into preparation for storing and preservation and just being consumed, to being enjoyed, right? The literal fruits of our labor. But also, you know, when it comes to like that inward expansion that we're doing, you know, like if we show up and if we're diligent about freeing ourselves, clearing out of that inner space, those outdated thoughts, attitudes, and dispositions, these ideas that we have had that we thought were, you know, holding us up or being supportive, but actually might be getting in the way of further growth, right? These walls that we put up that, you know, give us security around the garden so that we can enjoy the fruits of our labor without having to compete, are also limitations and boundaries that we have put on our capacity to grow. So, yes, we have defenses that we need to examine, and we have thoughts, attitudes, and dispositions that we need to examine. If we want this good fortune, if we want this favor to continue to fall on us, if we want to, you know, really be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor, we have to be willing to look at, you know, what we can get rid of that is not contributing to that ultimate sense of success and good fortune. And I believe that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate your company. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today and Tarot.